Welcome back to another edition of the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show, sponsored all season long by Wholesale Supply Group. Once again, I'm Andy Morris with Jacob Mason, and of course, your head coach, Coach Drew Akins. Coach, first of all, this is Smith County week, so we're going to dive into that in our second segment. But to start us off, we're going to kind of recap a little bit last week's game against Carter. Tough game, defensive battle. Kind of just let everybody know where, as a team, you guys are standing on after you've had time to kind of evaluate and look back at it.
Yeah, first of all, I like to go positive, negative, positive. So let's stick with that trend. Let's go positive, negative, positive here. I think our defense played really well. When you look at just their game as a whole, the first quarter we gave up the long slip screen that went for a touchdown. That was the second drive of the game. Really, the first drive of the game was based on special teams. We put them in a bad situation. They gave up some yards, but got to stop inside the 20, which is something we talked about all week. Hey, like, they're going to drive, they're going to get yards, and then you've got to be able to, inside the 20, make a stop. So we were able to do that first drive. The second drive, they threw that little slip screen, and the kid's a really good player.
Very
Caleb,
fast kid.
I usually don't know kids' names, but that kid, Caleb was his first name, but really good player. They do a good job of getting him in space, and we just fit it wrong. That's all it was. Eli fit underneath. I think Zeke fit underneath, and then we just lost some leverage. And the kid's so fast that once he broke leverage, man, it was as good as done at that point. But then our defense goes. The second quarter gave up 18 total yards. The third quarter gave up 4 total yards. And then the last quarter, obviously that last drive was pretty extensive, but still ended the game under 200 yards of total offense. The one, I guess, negative defensively is we didn't get any turnovers. But I thought they did a really good job of not putting the ball in harm's way. And that leads us to the offense that, we never made them chase anything. So the quarterback was able to just kind of hold on to it. If it wasn't there, he would pull it down and go get 3, 4, 5 yards. I thought that quarterback did a really good job of just protecting the football. Yeah. It's something on film he showed that he would throw it to the other team. Against Gibbs, he had 3 or 4 interceptions where he just threw it into a pile of people, and Gibbs came out with it. Obviously, they worked on that throughout this week, and he really never put the ball in harm's way ever throughout the game. But that's really the only knock I can put on our defense. I thought they played a great game. I think they fly around. Eli Denton is just a dude for us right now. He's making so many tackles and just making plays. But, you can get lost in, hey, Eli's doing this, Eli. But when you look down just our entire roster, Jackson Gibson, Connor Phillips, Cam Norwood, Josh Van Wyck, all those guys are playing great up front in the D-line, keeping Eli clean. I thought Jacob Hollingsworth, came back after a rough Ooltewah game and played really well last week. Elisha Pugh, we inserted him into the starting role, and he played really well. Christian Wilds on the other side played really well. Our back end has played great all year. This is going to sound weird, but I think we almost covered them too good, where the quarterback wouldn't throw the ball and would pull it down and go run.
That is one thing we talked about during the broadcast of the game, how they seem to make that adjustment as an air raid team from where he started tucking it. And Jacob and I referred to him as a big-bodied quarterback, pretty solid kid, and he was able to get a couple chunk yardage situations here and there that really kind of kept the clock running, as you said, and didn't give us a lot of opportunities on offense as we get ready to dive into the offensive side.
I thought they had a really good game plan, and I thought we played really well. Both things can be right, that they protected the ball really well and didn't put their defense in a bad spot, and then our defense played really well and gave us opportunities throughout the game. As you look at the offense, I think first off, we didn't have a very good plan going in. I think as an offensive staff, I don't know if we relaxed is the right word. I think we just thought we can go in with our base stuff and we can be okay. And really just played poorly up front. I don't think we prepared them well to play well up front. I think we prepared them for a soft game. Therefore, we got a soft game. And that's on coaches. If you prepare your kids to play a soft game and you expect them to go play a physical game, then, that's kind of one of those insanity kind of things where, like, you can't prepare for a soft game and then go play physical. And I think that's what we did as coaching staff. And because of that, I think we as a coaching staff especially offensive coaching staff, kind of cost our team an opportunity to go make those plays. And listen, I'm the leader of our offense. I'm the leader of our football team, and I'm the leader of our offense specifically as an offensive coordinator. So when I say those things as an offensive staff, I'm talking about me as a leader. I didn't do a very good job putting a plan together and then preparing our kids to execute that plan. And it's a lesson learned. I hate that it has to be a lesson learned after a loss like that. After a loss that I feel like we were the better team, but we were not the better team on Thursday. I'm not saying we are the better team that night. We were not. They were the better team that night. I think we were a better football team, and we didn't show it because us as coaches didn't prepare our kids.
It's one of those games where you feel like you play it 10 times, you probably win 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, if you prepare and plan the right way, sure. I think we could have played that game on Thursday night, on Friday night, on Saturday night, and the same thing would have happened because of our preparation. So, it's a lesson learned for our coaching staff that we cannot take the foot off a gas pedal ever. I think we had these nicks and bumps and bruises after Bradley Central that we felt like, hey, let's take it off of them a little so we can get healthy, and then we'll just go play on Friday night. And listen, we talked about it week 1. If you go back to week 1, remember I showed you the graphic of all the circles of the guys who had just played for their first Friday night ever against Notre Dame. And we were so excited about it because these guys will just get better and better all year. Well, when you don't practice the right way, those guys aren't going to get better. And they don't have enough experience to go make those plays. When you look at our defense, they didn't have all those circles, right? They have Tucker Owenby, who's played a ton of football. They have Eli Denton, who's played a ton of football. Jackson Gibson, Connor Phillips, Josh Van Wyck, played a ton of football. Brady Montgomery, Braxton Smith, all these names, right? And those guys went and played Friday. We're counting on guys on offense that haven't played a lot of football. Evan Schwartzel is going to be a great quarterback. He hasn't played a whole lot of varsity football for us at Walker Valley. He's on his 4th game. And when you take stuff off of him in hopes that we can get to Friday healthy, it cost us. And listen, that's a lesson learned. It's something that we're going to go back and we're going to prepare better. I fully expect after our meeting yesterday, Sunday, and then our practice today, Monday, that you're going to see a different football team because we are preparing differently. We put a better plan in front of our kids, and we're preparing better for that plan. I hate it cost our seniors a chance at a win, but it's better to learn the lesson now against a non-region opponent than it is to learn later against Ray County and McMinn County. Those two teams those two games are what matter from now on out. So let's go prepare better and learn how to prepare for a game. That way, when we go into those 2 games, we understand this is how we prepare to be successful on a Friday night. So, we've learned those lessons, and we're excited moving forward. I love our kids. I've told y'all over and over, our leadership is unbelievable. And our leaders really stepped up and came out today ready to go. We had probably the most energetic practice we've had since camp.
Which is how you want to respond to a game like that.
Exactly, and our kids are going to respond. I think as adults, we actually have a harder time moving on than kids do.
I think you're exactly right.
Our kids moved on really well, and because of that, I feel really excited about what's going to happen over the next little bit. Friday we had our team meeting. We watched the film. We said we're going to put this one to bed this week, so next week we can start new. But we also said, hey, we're at a crossroads. We're at 2-2, and we could easily go 2-8. We can easily go 8-2. It's just how are we going to respond to this game? How are we going to respond to the way we reacted in this game? And that's going to propel us forward, one direction or the other. And man, seeing our kids come out today and the excitement that came out with today, we are going to do the right things. Now, does it turn into wins on the field? We'll see. But we're definitely going to prepare the right way.
Yep. Coach, I want to give Jacob a segue here for some defensive individuals, but specifically on offense, Noah Jones, what he's been able to do, kind of taking the reins at the running back position. And again, we talked about this during the broadcast. That's kind of given Eli Denton the rest that he needs to be fresh on the defensive side of the ball where we know he's a stud.
Yeah.
So real quick, let's give Noah Jones a little bit of love for what he's been able to. And for us, he's been a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, he's been a huge surprise for us offensively. It's one of those things that you're always looking for who's the backup guy because Eli can't go 80 plays on defense and go 40 to 50 plays on offense. That's asking so much out of a kid, and it's going to cost him on one side of the ball or the other. So we were constantly looking for who's that next running back, and we always knew Noah had the talent, but Noah is just not taking the reins of it until Ooltewah week, and it just felt like Ooltewah week, man. He just showed up, and everything that we've been asking him to do kind of clicked, and it's been a real huge boost for our team. I think there's guys behind him. I think there's guys coming on that'll help him even. So now, now Noah's the one. Who can we put underneath him that's going to push him to be better? And I think you're seeing that. I think Malachi Martin's a name you're going to start hearing more about. He's a sophomore kid for us who's really, really practices hard. Is a physical runner. He kind of gives us what we ask our running backs to do. So I think he's another name that you may hear. But having Noah take reign of that is kind of giving us some flexibility and giving Eli a chance to be really dominant on defense.
Yeah, Malachi reminds me kind of how Denton runs the ball, just angry, mad.
Yeah.
I watched him in middle school, in his middle school career, and he's got a little dog in him. He definitely's got that extra bite. But
Absolutely.
Also, Noah Jones, one thing that I just wanted to point out before he segued to defense, he keeps his feet moving very, very well. The first guy that hits him normally doesn't tackle him because he's running through that. So, like you guys said, great surprise by him. But let's switch over to the defense side of the ball. One name that's kind of a newcomer for us is Zeke Garrison.
Yeah.
I call him Sticks. Anybody that wears number 11, Sticks. And in the Ooltewah game, he comes in for Brady Montgomery. And one of the first plays that he made is coming down hard, downhill, real hard, makes a great tackle. And it's something you saw last week as well. Just kind of talk about his play as a sophomore, that hasn't seen a whole lot of Friday nights.
Yeah, I always knew. I remember seeing Zeke at Ocoee Middle, and I was like, who is that kid? He just kind of came out of nowhere, was playing nickel for him, I think. And I was like, man, that kid's got some potential. He really plays. And he was kind of overshadowed because in that group you had Roman Yulo playing a 7th grader up. Keaton Whaley was playing a 7th grader up. You had Sam Anderson who
miss him.
Yeah. I miss Sam a lot. We have Jack, his older brother's coaching with us now, and I love Jack. I love that family. I miss Sam like crazy, but Sam overshadowed Zeke. And there was a lot of times last year, his freshman year, when Sam's gone, that a play would be there to be made, and Zeke wouldn't make it. And me and Zeke, I'd bring him over to the side. I was like, hey, man, I need you to hear something. You're the dude now. Like, Sam's not here to protect you anymore. You've got to be that guy. And you've kind of slowly seen, okay, like I can be that guy. I can go do those things. And, man, slowly, and then Brady gets hurt kind of out of nowhere. Zeke hadn't played a whole lot, and Brady gets hurt, and it's like, all right, Zeke's got to go. He's the next guy in. And within the first 2 or 3 snaps, Zeke shoots in, makes a great fit off our nickel fit outside, and Zeke comes in, shoots the alley, and makes a great tackle. And it's like, oh, there's that. Do that again, Zeke. Go do that again. And I think you saw that a few times last week where he just kind of showed up. He's such a physical kid as a sophomore. He looks different. Yeah. Like, he's one of those kids that you look at him and you're like, oh, that kid's really good looking. Was he a junior, senior? And I get to say, no, man, he's a sophomore. He's got a chance to be really good. So, him kind of filling in for Brady last week. Brady's back healthy this week, and that's exciting for us. But it gives us some flexibility with Brady. Now we can get Brady down closer to the football where Brady really excels. Brady's good in pass coverage, but he's great when it comes to stop and run. So getting Brady down closer to the football and giving him a chance to make plays closer to the line of scrimmage is good, and we wouldn't be able to do that without Zeke coming along. So really excited about that and his ability there. So I think you're going to see a lot more Zeke on the field. And because of that, now you get 3 years of Zeke in that secondary, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Another name I want to talk about is Connor Phillips. We kind of made a joke on the broadcast. I coached him in baseball, and we used to say he had concrete on his feet. He was so slow. Watching him on Friday nights now, man, it's not anymore. Yeah. And then he's like, I want to know the stat on how many holds he's drawn already this season, and it's because
how many holds he's drawn, or how many holds
he probably gets
he's gotten held.
He probably gets it. Yeah, he probably gets
that would be a better stat to have.
He causes fits for O-line.
Yeah. So he definitely just kind of want to talk about his play because he's been, I love that kid and I love watching him succeed. But it's been even more fun watching him because he's just absolutely tearing up the backfield.
That was one of our big concerns going into the season is Miles Mann had such a big year for us last year. That 4-eye position makes a ton of plays. We don't ask our defensive line to make plays very much, except for that position. Now, that position's got to go. And if they go, they're going to get held, which creates negative plays, or they're going to knife into the backfield, or you got to double team him. Those are the 3 options. You're going to either hold him, he's going to go make a play in the backfield, or you're going to have to double team him, which frees up Eli, Jacob, Noah, those guys to go make plays. So it's been we knew he was there. And I don't know about the concrete in the feet thing because he doesn't have it for us, man. When he goes on that slant, he's really hard to deal with. And it's been game after game where you see him get a holding penalty. It puts the team behind the sticks, and it creates a stop. Or he knifes through and makes a play in the backfield. Yeah. Like, those are the things that are happening. Or the things you don't see when he gets double-teamed and Eli's free to make a tackle. All of those things have happened throughout the year, and it's been a huge play by him. It's very similar to Noah Jones, where, we knew he had it, but was he going to go do it? And we saw it in the spring. He really had it. And he's just made progress after progress and really making him some big-time plays for us.
Yeah, for sure. Like we said, a great defensive performance on Friday night. Really proud of what they've done so far this year. But
yeah, when you look at our defense, our goal is, 24 points per game. We feel like if we get 24 points per game under that on defense, that we should be able to win. Now, we're 2-2, which tells you offensively, the Bradley game, we got 21, so we were that close to doing what we needed to do. Last week, we obviously didn't do what we needed to do. But our defense has given us every opportunity. And I'll tell you what, man, if your defense is playing like that, our offense is going to catch up. Our offense is young. We got really 4 brand new guys up front. It's going to take some time. Jackson Gibson's playing for the first time offensively ever. It's going to take some time. Our receivers are all kind of new. Roman Yulo's starting as a freshman. Larkin Lewis is a senior but hasn't started at varsity. Tucker Owenby started at running back last year. He's at receiver now. So we got guys in new positions that we're just asking them to do a whole lot of learning on the fly. And what you're going to see is us start to get better and better and better offensively, and our defense is going to continue to give us those chances to make plays on Friday.
Yeah, last thing on last week, I do feel like because of how well the defenses played, it really did alter the way they attacked that game. They didn't take, like you said, some of those big risks. Honestly, we were kind of talking about it on the broadcast. They went out wide, safe throw, and then try to pound it up the middle. Out wide, tried to nothing really downfield, which
really
is not
safe
like
tunnel screen. Yeah, and that's why we were able to hold them.
Yeah.
But I think what they realized is that just we weren't ready up front offensively. Again, that's a coaching thing that we've got to do better about. But I think they said, hey, let's just milk this thing, because if we milk it, maybe we can hold on to it. And I thought we had a couple opportunities early. Those couple opportunities early that we didn't take advantage of offensively really came back to bite us. We were inside the 20 on one of our plays, and we got it called back because of an illegal man downfield. And then we're inside the 10 and had an illegal man downfield. So those things happen. We're going to learn from them. Again, that inexperience throughout the year, we're going to gain more and more experience. And we're going to practice better. We're going to plan better. And I think you're going to see a lot of progress up front and at receiver and at quarterback from our offense.
Coach, last thing before we take a break, we've got to talk about it. Eli Denton, what he was able to accomplish last week as an individual, not only in Walker Valley football history, now being the all-time leader in tackles past Skylar Swafford, who had 313, and I believe Eli's around
17 maybe is what he hit, yeah.
So he set that all-time mark, and then on top of that, he just so happens to be leading, the United States of America, the country in tackles.
Yeah, like I said, man, that kid has done everything he's been at. When Coach Floyd at Bradley Central comments about a kid on a different team, it means something. And when he said, man, Eli Denton, that kid plays the game the right way. We've been saying that for a long time. That's just confirmation that Eli just plays the game the right way. And listen, the game rewards people that play it the right way. And Eli's getting the reward from that. I think he's going to get the reward on the football field with more accolades like you're talking about. He's a 2-time All-State kid. I think if he continues to do what he's doing right now, I think you'll see him as a 3-time All-State kid. But I think you're going to start seeing some opportunities to go to the next level. He's right on the brink of some second level or next level opportunities that I think will come. soon again if he continues to play the way he's playing. So we're obviously happy for Eli, and for him to be leading the nation in tackles just tells you how dominant of a defensive player he is. He deserved better than what we gave him offensively last week. But even then, he went and made 15 tackles, and I think 9 assists. So he just plays the game the right way. And when you play the game the right way, the game rewards you. Yeah. And he deserves those rewards. He deserves those accolades. But it doesn't change who he is. You know, he came out to practice today, and he practiced just like every other kid. He practiced as hard as he could possibly go. And really made plays against the scout team and was the leader out there again, where some kids would say, man, I don't need this kind of practice. I'm going to let the backup get it, and I'll just play on Fridays. No, he's in on every tackle at practice, too. So we counted practice tackles.
Mentality.
I'll tell you what, it's who he is. He lives it, he eats it, he breathes it, and it shows up on the field on Fridays.
So once again, this is the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show. This is Smith County Week. So we'll be right back with the second segment with Coach Akins, and we'll dive into Smith County. Welcome back to the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show, sponsored all season long by Wholesale Supply Group, open to the public. Once again, I'm Andy Morris with Jacob Mason and your head football coach, Drew Akins. And, Coach, it's a new week. It's Smith County week, getting a little bit closer to some big games coming up, but this is what's in front of us.
Yeah, you know, it's Smith County week. It's homecoming week. There's a lot of stuff going on this week, and I told our players today, you know, your job during homecoming week is what? And all of them said, to win the football game. So we understand what our responsibility is. We understand the assignment.
Got to stay focused.
The kids are saying nowadays. So we understand that our assignment is to go win a football game. And because of that, again, we had probably the best practice we've had since camp today, going out there getting ready for Smith County.
Because it was nice outside.
It was. I mean, it's kind of changed some weather. It's a little bit nicer outside. It's a little bit thinner. The humidity's down.
Starting to feel like football weather.
Our kids came and brought it today. So really excited about that. And it's going to take that level of effort. This Smith County team is very similar to last year, where they're just going to line up. They got just
very hard-nosed,
just big,
hard-nosed
nasty.
kids.
They're big,
they
man.
got big, nasty kids that they're running buck sweep. They're running G ISO. They're running some counter stuff. They, you know, just really, really good players. Their team speed is probably average, but when they just line up and run it right at you, you don't need a whole lot of team speed. You just get 4 or 5 in a cloud of dust, and then it just wears on you. Every team we've talked to that's played them has said, man, we really held up good early, but as the game went on, we just kind of wore down because they just lean on you, and then you watch the games, and in the third quarter, they pop a big run. In the fourth quarter, they just can't stop them. It's just up and down the field. So we've got to do a great job of subbing our guys, making sure our guys stay fresh throughout the game. But they're a big physical team that we've got to make sure that we prepare well for. They're as good a 3A opponent as you're going to see, and they're strong. I've been really impressed. Coach Dyer does a really good job there. He puts them in a great situation to win. They play really hard. I think that's one thing. A name you're going to call is whoever number 9 is for their team. I don't know. Again, I don't do a great job of knowing names, but number 9 for their team is a great player. He was number 71 last year and made a bunch of plays, defensive lineman. He changed the number 9 this year, and he's still making plays.
If you're a single-digit D lineman, you're probably
he deserves it. He deserves it. He's as good a defensive lineman as we saw all year last year, and he's a year better. He's a year stronger. He's a year bigger. And, man, he's a really good player. And we're going to have to make sure we account for him throughout the night. But they just play hard defensively. You see him fly around as good as anybody that we've seen. So we're going to have to take a great plan in. Defensively, it's going to be one of those nights that you just got to bow your backs and just make a stop. And it's going to be tough, and it's going to be nasty. And, you know, they're going to limit possessions. You know, something we talked about against Ooltewah is in Bradley Central, hey, let's limit the possessions, as few possessions in this game as we can get. They're going to try to do the same thing. You know, if they get 6 possessions throughout the game, man, they're all the way in on that. So that's something that we've got to take advantage of possessions we do have. We can't be lazy. We can't waste a possession. We can't have those negative plays. We just got to go as fast as we can try to leverage them at certain spots. Again, I think we've done a much better job preparing this week in our plan, and now we've got to go do it on the practice field and get to Friday ready to go. But this is a good Smith County team coming in. I got a lot of respect for what they do. I got a lot of respect for their coaches. And our kids have got to be ready to go this week because it's going to be a big, nasty, physical game.
And going off that, for those of you that don't remember, last year at Smith County, very physical game, as you said. And I like, as you referred to in the first segment of today's show, just kind of how our defense is. This is a good matchup for us, I feel like. But if you go back to last year, it was a double overtime, triple overtime win for Walker Valley. So Smith County's going to be coming in here looking to get one back.
Yeah, that's kind of the game that Eli Wilson kind of emerged to. And Eli's been big for us this year. Yeah. You know, I know we didn't score a touchdown the other night, but Eli put the only points on the board with a 38-yard field goal. That's a big deal. You know, being able to count on him to make those, we didn't question it at all. Once we, you know, it was 4th and 3, we got the penalty. When we backed up to the 21, made it 4th and 8, it was like, all right, let's go kick it. And he went out there without hesitation and made that field goal like it was nothing. So I got a lot of confidence in Eli. And last year during this game, it was kind of his coming out party where, you know, he kicked the field goal just before the end of the fourth quarter to make it go in overtime. And then came back, they kicked a field goal the second overtime, and he kicked a field goal the second overtime to match it.
Yeah, he kept us in it.
Kept us in it, and then obviously we went down and scored in the third overtime where they didn't. So, big time game, man. It was a fun atmosphere. We're excited to host them. I hope it doesn't go into 3 overtimes again.
I hope so too.
Just for either coach. I know that stress of that's not fun, but just excited to host them. I thought they did a great job hosting us. So excited to show them the same hospitality.
Yeah, so 7:30 Friday night here at the MAC. Come support us. We're excited.
That's right. We'll be on Sports 99.1. Once again, that's me and Jacob with the call. Again, 7:30 kickoff. We'll go on probably roughly an hour before 6:30 pregame. You'll be able to hear this interview there if you've not already seen it on YouTube or on social media. Mix 1041 will post it. It's on our social media accounts as well. So once again, this has been the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wholesale Supply Group. It is Smith County week. It's homecoming week, so come out to the MAC and support the Mustangs.